Hello everybody, GameFreak9917 here, and I'm back today with Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox One, but I'm not actually doing a full part to just yet. I just wanted to do a little bit of an explanation to my video that I posted yesterday, or more concerning my rant that went on yesterday. I know, like, it may seem to have made it kind of made sense to me when I was talking about it yesterday, but I don't feel like I truly got my point across. When I was on my rant yesterday, I was talking more about I wanted to talk more about the car community in general. I wasn't trying to just single out like the Hellcat. So basically, this rant right now is kind of a message to the car community, and if there's anybody that is a car lover and they get offended by this, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm only talking about the people that this applies to. But I am somewhat fed up with how a lot of these so-called car guys, or just car people, act nowadays. You know, like, it's so much about brand loyalty nowadays, and this applies to just anything, really. And like yesterday, I was just trying to talk. I was kind of talking about how people that really like Dodge or just a Hellcat would just talk shit about other cars, even if the car may be better. And I'm not going to try to give any examples about any muscle cars or any other cars that are more powerful than the Hellcat, even though I already know a few off the top of my head that I can name off, but I'm not going to, because this isn't trying to attack the Hellcat. It's about trying to get a message across to these so-called car people. Why is brand loyalty just such a big thing nowadays with so many people? And I'm not talking about everybody. I'm only talking to the people that this applies to. So please, if this does not apply to you, don't get offended. Just listen to what I have to say and try to understand where I'm coming from. Now, let me try to give you a little bit of history about me and cars. I grew up a car lover all my life. Like, before I could even remember, I could name car brands just by looking at them. And my dad can attest to this fact. He would tell me all the time that if we went for a walk in the park, I could look at a car and say Ford, and say Chevy, Dodge, BMW, Chrysler. I could say anything. And he would even try to trick me and say, like, the Ford was a Mercedes, and I would say, no, that's a Ford, I know. And that's just me. I always grew up as a car guy, but as I got a little older, but I was still young, you know, when you're just a little kid, everybody gets into that stage where, oh, if it looks cool, it's the coolest. You know, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all those were the coolest cars ever. But eventually I grew out of that, and I got more into American muscle and just American cars in general. It also applies to, like, pickup trucks. You know, when I first started playing Forza Motorsport 4, I tried to make it my mission to not own a single foreign car. I tried to own just all American cars. But as I grew older, this more mature car guy in me showed himself, and I opened up to more cars. I started putting more Lamborghinis, Nissans, Toyotas, Ferraris, BMWs, all that stuff in my garage. And I found out that all the cars were just beautiful in their own way. No car is really made the same. And that's one of the points that I kind of want to get across to a lot of people. No car is really made the same, so you can't truly attest that one car is better than the other. You know, like you could say, oh sure, the Hellcat is better than a Prius because it has more horsepower, but a Prius can be better than a Hellcat because it gets better gas mileage and it's a better just daily driver. It's more the typical car person vehicle. You know, it's somebody that wants a cheap, affordable car that gets good gas mileage, and they're not looking for any sort of thrills. But with the Hellcat, you get the power, the thrills, everything that you're really expecting. So I don't think the car community is truly a place for brand loyalty. But don't get me wrong, I can't really say that completely. Like, you can be loyal to a brand, but just understand why people would like a different sort of brand. Like Chevy versus Ford, that's one of the biggest automotive rivalries in history. And I'm a Ford guy myself. I've said it before in a video. I'm a Ford guy through and through. No, I'm always gonna love Ford. But I still respect Chevy, even though there's been drama recently just with recalls and whatnot. But it's not really something that concerns me, unless if like I was put into a position where I could buy one, then it sort of becomes a little bit more my concern about what I'm going to buy. But you know, me being a Ford guy, I've sort of grown up. You know, I've been a fan of Ford all my life, and it kind of has part to do with my dad being a Ford guy as well. You know, he's always driven Ford. Ever since I was a little kid, he's always driven Ford until money became really tight and he had to get rid of some cars to buy just buy cheap used cars. But no, he's kind of always taught me like basically all I really know about cars, except for certain types of cars. Like, I know more about supercars than him. But it's just, you know, Ford versus Chevy is one of the biggest rivalries. And occasionally, I do talk trash about Chevys, but I still have respect for them. Like, I absolutely love the new Corvettes. I think they look awesome, they sound nice, and they're pretty cool little performance cars. But would I drive one? Probably not. No, I probably wouldn't really fit in one anyway, just because I'm like roughly 6'6", and it doesn't seem like it's a tall enough car for me. But oh god, I'm sorry, it's just hard for me to really keep focused while I'm playing this game and trying to talk to you about this, so I have to pause and get my train of thought back. But you know, and it's kind of like one of my friends took. You know, I play with him quite a bit in my videos. I always play Black Ops 2 with him. I mean, pretty much any Black Ops 2 video you go back and look at, he's been a part of. But he's kind of the same way. Like, he is a Ford guy through and through, but he still respects other cars. You know, he's still... Well, he's not completely a Ford guy, I guess. He's more of just a domestic guy. He likes American cars more. But with me, I'm kind of the same way. But I love JDMs as well, and just any sort of foreign car in general, I guess. But you know, I really like JDMs. I love Nissan, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Subaru, just all those, just a lot of JDM cars I really love. Just because I love the even Hondas. I do like Hondas. You know, a lot of people love to trash on Hondas just because they're low torque, low horsepower, blah blah blah. But they are one of the most customizable vehicles out there, especially some of the older ones. And the great thing about Hondas though is they are perfect for people that just they're looking for a daily driver. My buddy in Minnesota, he has it's like an early 90s Accord, and it's a 2-door, but that thing fits me perfectly. It's probably one of the roomiest vehicles I have ever been in, and that includes trucks as well. Like, it has a lot of leg room, which allows me more headroom because I typically slouch down in my seat when I'm riding in a car. So the more legroom I get, the more headroom I get as part of that. But with Honda, you know, it's just one of those cars that everybody hates on. But he has no problem with that. You know, he embraces that. You know, he owns a Honda. You know, every time I see him, I call him Ricer Nation just because he drives a Honda. And, you know, he embraces that. It's awesome. We have a good time. We just have a good laugh about it. And, you know, that's what car guys should be. We can make fun of each other, but know that there's a respect for one another. We know that there's a certain level of mutual respect between one another. But I think that's something that is so rare nowadays, just in this generation period. You know, like, okay, I'm going to kind of break down something a little bit. I feel like with car guys, and this applies to any topic in general. I'm talking about sports, video games, just anything you can think of, this topic applies. I feel like there are certain tiers to how much you enjoy something. I feel like starting from lowest to the top, there's sort of the novice or the new guy, and he's the person that's just getting into it. Like, I'm going to use football as an example. Like, the new guy, he may be starting to get into it just because he has family members that watch it. He has friends that watch it. You know, he goes out to the bar, he watches a game or whatever while he's having a drink with some friends. But he's still trying to get into it. But people shouldn't hate on him because he's still trying to get into it. And there's the more experienced but not as experienced, I guess. I'm still trying to come up with a name for that. And he's the guy that watches every game that he gets a chance to. Like, he will dedicate time to actually watching the games. There's the more experienced. He may dedicate himself to one team. He may be a Dallas Cowboys fan, a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Baltimore Ravens, whatever team he may like, he may follow them. And he may even occasionally play some fantasy football. But then there's the extremist, and he's the guy that buys, like, he goes to every single game that he can. I'm talking about, like, the actual game. He's not just watching on TV. He's there experiencing the game. And he's the person with the face paint. His man cave is dedicated to the whole team. He knows every single stat about every single player that's ever played on the team. And what I feel, at least with some of the things that I've experienced, the more extremist types are the kind of guys that I hate the most. And I'm just going to give a little bit of an example. At my school, I went to a school in a small town, and sports was a pretty big thing. We have one of the we pretty much do have probably one of the best basketball teams in the whole state of Minnesota. You know, we, like, our school, or the school that I went to, just won the state championship. But weightlifting is a pretty big thing at my school as well, just because a lot of people like football, and it's sort of a thing that kind of grew into a lot of people for some reason. Like, if you're not jacked, you're not shit, is how these extremist types act. You know, like, these are a type of people that don't make you want to go to the weight room. And that's sort of what happened to me. Like, one of the reasons why I just got a gym membership instead of going to the weight room, it may have been just because the gym was larger, but I didn't want to have to deal with some of the people in the weight room. Like, I'm a pretty big guy, like, but it's mostly just fat, you know. And a lot of people see that I'm big, but they think like every bit of me is just muscle, when that's not really the case. Like, the most I've ever bench pressed is like 185, and that may be a lot to some people, but to a guy my size, it's like more is expected out of me, I guess. But the really pathetic thing, though, is when I was really, like, I was lifting weights basically just to gain shape. I was trying to use it as a fun way to just be with my friends and try to lose weight. And because of some of these extremist types, I didn't want to go to the gym anymore. Just because when I was trying to do 185, I knew I was going to struggle with it, so I asked one of the extremist types. I didn't really know that he was one of those types at the time. I asked him if he could spot me. He comes over, looks at my weights, and he's like, "Well, you're going to have trouble, you're going to have problems lifting that? What, you some type of pussy?" And from then on, it was basically weightlifting at our school's gym was just kind of killed for me. Like, I had no motivation whatsoever to go back there and lift with those types of people. But that can apply so much with everything else, you know. Like, I've seen this before too. Like, there are extremists in the car community, and these people really get under my skin and piss me right the fuck off. Because I feel like in the car community, this is one of the communities that we could be the most accepting to newcomers. You know, like, this is a community where we could help people. You know, with the car guy community, like, some of the extremists could be, like, they know absolutely everything about everything. Like, they know every single BMW engine code that there is. They know... I just can't even name off everything. They just know everything, really. But it's like, you know, some of these new guys come in and they're like, and I've seen this before too, like in real life. Like, I've seen there are people at my school that are really big into cars. And they're more into the maintenance aspect. They're not more into the learn about the car aspect. But they like to fix up cars and whatnot. But it's kind of sad because one of my friends, he's a really good friend of mine, he asked one of these people if they could help him replace an oil filter on their car. And it's just... You ever ask an honest to God question that's so innocent, but people just give you this look like you're the stupidest son of a bitch on the face of the earth. And that is exactly what happened to my friend. And it pissed me off because this is a really good friend of mine, and I don't, like, nobody should show him that any sort of disrespect just because he is a awesome, honest to God person. And, you know, he's just always been one of those people that's been there for me. He's helped me out a lot in school. Just if I ever needed somebody to talk to, he was always there for me, and I was there for him. So any sort of disrespect shown to him really pissed me off, and it made me want to slap the guy that gave him that look. But the guy gave him that look, and he just asked him, like, "Are you serious? Like, you seriously don't know how to change an oil filter?" Hell, I don't even know how to change an oil filter, and I still consider myself to be a car guy. You know, like, I know a thing or two about cars, but I'm not one of the most knowledgeable people. I'm still learning. But I've seen stuff similar to this in the car guy community, and it kind of happens with me and my friends on Xbox. We give each other shit and whatnot. Like, I'm not going to say names, but we've asked one of our friends, like, what does SVT means? You know, it's for Ford, and it's a special vehicle team. But we asked him. You know, he said like he was more of a Ford guy, so we just asked him what it meant, and he said that he didn't know. And we were like, dude, don't even call yourself a Ford guy if you don't know what that means. But we just kind of said like, oh, we're just giving you shit. It just means special vehicle team, just so you know. But that's kind of how it should be. Like, just give them a little bit of grief, but help them out. Still make them feel welcome. Like, on Car Throttle, it's one of my favorite automobile blog, website, whatever. You know, it's just one of those websites I really like to go to listen to people's stories and whatnot, just see what they have to say. And I saw this this one story. This guy got into a wreck with one of his Camaros, and it's not like a brand new one. It's not like the old 70s one. It's the Catfish body style. But it was like his pride and joy, really. Like, he put a lot of time and effort into making it what it was. And, you know, it's pretty sad to see, like, his car got ruined. And it wasn't his fault either. It was some lady had pulled out right in front of him. He had no time to react. But when he was talking about it, he explained that it's never even seen rain. Like, that's just how much he took care of it. And there was some guy that commented on it, and he said, like, what, you're afraid of taking your Camaro out in a little rain? Like, that's one of the saddest things ever. You shouldn't even call yourself a driver. You know, you're afraid of a little sudden drift, whatever. And, you know, one guy had commented exactly what I was thinking, and it was basically, you know, like, the guy commented saying, like, it's sad that the car has never seen rain, basically. And another guy had replied to him saying, your attitude is sad. You know, just because somebody spent a lot of time on the car and they want to make sure that it's taken care of so it lasts a long time, you know, it doesn't mean that you should hate on them for it. You know, that was the dude's pride and joy. You know, like, what gives you the right to hate on it? And, you know, I've kind of done the same thing that I did yesterday. I went a little bit off topic, and I kind of went all over the place, but I just want to explain, no car is the same. Just stop with the brand loyalty bullshit, where it's just like one brand is superior to the rest. No brand is truly superior. Every car performs differently. Every car is made for different purposes, and we should all learn to expect that and respect that. That's what it should be. And I just really hope that I got my point across in this video. If not, again, I'm sorry. You know, I just tried the best I could. Maybe I'll have some of my friends on to help me out with this topic. Actually, I might just do that. I'm still going to upload this video, but I think I'm going to get into touch with some of my friends on 360 and have them touch on this topic, because some of these guys are bigger car guys than me, so they can help me explain this a little bit more. But anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, which I highly doubt because I rambled on a lot, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comment section down below. You know, just let me know what you guys think about this subject. I want you guys to get more involved in this. You know, just keep it respectful. That's all I'm asking. If you're going to comment on it, just keep it respectful. But anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. I'm trying to upload daily as much as I possibly can. But I'll see you guys in the next video.